YouTube, come on and chop with me, man. With any haircut you do, you want to either lift the hair up off the scalp using a pick or a comb, or lay the hair down with a brush. This particular client want a wavelength high taper, so we're picking everything out. Right here, I'm just making sure we on the same page and that we are doing a high taper, and he confirmed. With picking or combing the hair off the scalp, you want to make sure you do this shit thoroughly, or brush, whatever, because how you start is how you finish, so you want a nice, clean, neat canvas. I threw the 1.5 guard on my clipper and closed the level just to be on the safe side, and I started knocking the hair down. I like to start in the crown with a bigger guard and work my way out. And like I say, just to be on the safe side, I start with a bigger guard, but I'm gonna eventually throw my one guard on and open the level. So that's gonna give me like a closer cut. It's still wave, it's just gonna be a little closer than that 1.5 close. Right here is when I switch to that one guard open to take down the rest of the hair and get it all at the same length before I start the high taper fade. And the reason why I start in the middle with a bigger guard and work my way out is so that I can see that growth pattern. Every client gonna have a different growth pattern, so you don't want to go the wrong way and scalp the client. That's a big no-no. Just take your time and do some smooth swipes to make sure you get all the hair at the same length. You don't want to rush. You rush, you might snag some hair and that shit hurt. You don't want to snag the client hair, the head might not come back to you. So take your time, smooth, clean, easy swipes through the hair. Whether you are cutting the hair to knock everything down or fading, you always want to comb or brush the hair as you cutting, comb, brush, fade, comb, brush. I'm gonna start doing more of these voiceovers. My boy Eli, my brother from Mississippi, he made me a shit ton of instrumentals, so I gotta put them bitches to work. I gotta do better with maneuvering around the camera so you can still see them angles of me cutting rather than me being in front of the camera view. I gotta get better with all that. So I be working on cutting with my left hand. I'm right hand dominant, but I be working on cutting with my left hand, and this just so I can get out the way of the camera and use my off hand if I'm making sense. And right here, you're gonna see me close the level up on that one. And that's just to, I guess you would call it, taper the hairline, but knock down those little hairs that hang over the hairline. Really just set me up for when I line bro up, knocking down those hairs, getting all that shit even or whatever. And I guess you can call it a line-up prep. But I do the edges of the line-up, you know, behind the ear, where their hair hang off it for the line-up. Everything knocked down even to the desired length. So now I'm just like I say, line up, prep, and knocking all little hairs down. It's gonna help me out in the future with the line up. But yeah, everything knocked down to the desired length. And right here, I'm just detailing, I guess you would call it, and knocking out little dark spots I see in the cut. Right here, we're just gonna knock the hair off his shoulders and clean the canvas and setting this first guideline for this high taper. Okay, so now we're finna start the high taper, and it's already not gonna be a vertical bar once it's all said and done. So I like to go ahead on and establish that before I get to fading into this shit. Boom. So now I'm finna sit in my guideline. And with the guideline, all I do is I take out the C cups and go straight across from it into the vertical bar. And shout out to my boy Mark, man. If you look up the word smooth in the dictionary, this nigga is beside that definition of smooth. So shout out to my boy Mark, man. He make the time in that junk go by fast, and it be tripped out fucking with bro. Alright, so now we got our ball line in. Next step I take is I go in, no guard, level all the way open, and make another guideline. And if you want that fade to be bussin' and gradient, like you gotta set that no guard level open guideline like a half an inch or a finger's width. Like when you see it, you will know if you've been cutting for a little while or whatever like that. But if you begin and you want to stick a finger up there and make a guideline about that wide or a half an inch. And two, it's all about the flick of the wrist. Like setting in these guidelines, taking them out, it's all about the flick of the wrist and how you maneuver the clipper. So you got to keep all that in mind too when you creating these guidelines and you taking these lines out. It's all in the flick of the wrist or how you maneuver that clipper to fade. And you want to brush as you fading. So it's like you fading or you cutting and then you brush. You want to put that hair back down in place to, you know, get that blurry look, and you make sure you getting all the hairs that you need to get. So you cutting and then you brushing to put the hair back down, and then you cutting and then you brushing to lay the hair back down. Scratching the skin help when you fade too. If you see my thumb on bruh head, I'm stretching, I'm pulling the skin tight so I can see better. You know, when you set in lines and you taking them out, you can see better if you stretch the skin, so they help you too. And so when it comes to setting guidelines, I like to put a line in and take it out. And I go all the way open to set it in, and then I go halfway to kind of like, you know, soften that line up, and then I close it to take the line out. And right here, I throw the one guard in and I'm making another guideline. So I went no guard open, took that line out, and now I got the one guard on, making another guideline. And we're gonna take that out with the half guard. different ways so I can make sure that I'm hitting every angle. Their corsair like to curl back up, so you want to make sure you get that true guard or that true no guard. You're gonna hit that joint at all kind of angles to make sure that panel is at one length, and that what makes the fade very too. Like that leaves you with a lot less detail work at the end. You want to detail real good, but if you do it that way, hit it all angles and make sure it's at one length, the detailing ain't gonna be nothing. Alright, so boom, I got my one guard open line guideline established, so this the half guard. And with the half guard, I start off with like 3/4 open. So it's open, but I close it just a tad bit. And I start working at that line between the no guard and the one. And you know, it's gonna soften it up. It may not take it out, some hair take it out, some hair don't. In this case, it didn't. So I had to go with the 3/4 open to halfway. And then I close it up and use the corners to get that line out. The one between the no guard. So I just closed it up right there, and I'm really hitting at that line to take it out. And you see the flicking stroke, bro. I didn't have that shit at first. When I first started, I had a stiff ass wrist. Like that shit had to just come with time and seeing motherfuckers do this shit. Like I didn't have the flick of the wrist at first, but you know that was something I had to unlock. So shit, I'm flicking now. I'm flicking, but yeah, you gotta flick them lines out, bro. It's all in the flick when it comes to that fade. So right here, twin, I go 1.5 open, and I'm just really debulking at this point. Like I done pretty much got my guidelines set in and took them out, and I threw my 1.5 open on that joint to debulk and really bring that fade out. So with that 1.5 open, like it's gonna create a little line that to where you're gonna have to either go halfway with the 1.5 to get the line out or close it up. Either way, it can be taken out, no problem. Like that side done. I'ma come back because I always detail probably 2 or 3 times before I let the nigga get out the chair, but I'll come back and detail this side a little bit more. But just like on the right side, we're gonna do the same thing on the left side. So I go in and establish that vertical bar first, then I take out the C cups, because that's what the high tape is. High tape, you don't have a C cup and you fade from up there. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna take out the C cup, and we're gonna fade the left side just like we did the right side. Shout out to my boy Flavio too. You can see him right there in the mirror. That's who we talking to and tripping out with. Man, we be having some times in school. I ain't gonna lie, probably one of the best decisions of my life to go to barber school. I kinda like woke up with the passion to cut one morning and kinda hit the ground running and shit. But yeah, man, these boys make the time well worth it. I ain't gonna cap. Like, we chop it up in that bitch, give each other knowledge and so on and so forth. Like, it's some good people up in that bitch, and once we graduate, we definitely gotta stay locked in with each other and link up and venture off into some business avenues. You know what I mean? Like, he started with us too, Flavio. Shout out Flavio, man. That nigga be chopping too, bro. He was in Section 8, but a nigga moved in and took his spot. But you know, we still locked in. And one thing we all had in common was to get our kit, get out on that flow, and start cutting and get better at cutting and shit. So far, we done accomplished that because we way better than what we was when we first started. Like, we started together first day, got our kit together and all that, and we been putting in that work, and all of us done got better. Like, the work speaks for itself, man. And also with this cut, we just doing a hot tape on the sides. We ain't even tapering the back. He said he ain't want me to touch the back for whatever reason, but whatever the client want, that's what the client gets. So I ain't touched the back, and the cut still came out fine. I just would have liked to put a back taper on it. Shout out to my boy Eli for the beat. This junk hard. It been fire. He been making them beats forever. We was rapping, man, a little minute ago, and he was making our beats, and he's still doing that shit, and he cold with it. So let him cook, man. This beat produced by him, this junk hard. So a lot of my voiceovers that I'm finna start doing, like, all the beats gonna be from him. All that hot shit that you been hearing on a couple of them clips of the videos I've been did with the before and after. His tag on that joint, Pastor Porter on the beat, preach, like, that's his tag, and I'm rocking with him. All my voiceovers gonna be instrumentals from bro. We almost got this side wrapped up though. You know what I mean? That's my boy Eric. If you can see him with the red jacket, that's my clipper plug. And actually, the gold magic clips that I'm using now, I got from him. And like I say, that's just gonna be my clipper plug, because he be having that shit, man. He one of them motherfuckers that know a guy that knows a guy. So I'ma stay with some fire ass clippers fucking with him. So that's where the magic clips came from that I'm cutting with right now. Shout out to my boy Eric. He cold as fuck too, with the designs, fades, all of that. That boy, he pressure. So this is me going back in, detailing. I got the trimmers out. I can still see a little line over there. Remember, we want everything blurry, so I'm just hitting it with the trimmers, detailing. Right here, no guard open, going with the grain to smooth that blend out. More detailing. No guard open, hitting the dark spots, dark areas, just using my corners. Corner work. That's what the barbers want to call it, corner work. Same thing right here. No guard open. Using the corners, going with the grain, just detailing, smoothing everything out. Getting that boy all the way right. Detailing, see little spots. Going with the grain, smoothing out. See, this what I'm talking about. I gotta work on. Either I gotta get like a little tripod or something to move my camera closer so y'all can see what's going on, rather than me being in the way of the camera. Kind of see it, but I wish I was thinking to zoom in. Like I said, I want you up close and personal, man. Real POV, so you can see what's going on to it. And right here we got that Tresemme. That's that holding spray. Finna go on, line that boy up, brush everything down, line up prep. And it's an old country saying that states it's a million ways to skin a cat. So it's a million ways, I guess, you could do a lineup. So we're doing a high table right here. So I want to start at the nape area, and that's the back of the neck. I want to start there if I'm doing a high taper, because I ain't got to worry about no C-cups or nothing like that. I just really got to make sure the vertical bars is good and straight and sharp, and the front edge up and short. So I go ahead on and knock out the nape area first if I'm doing a high taper. If I'm doing a low taper or a mid taper or even all over, I start with the C-cups first, get those established, then I go to the vertical bars and make sure those straight, and then I do the straight across lineup, and then the beard or whatever the case may be. But high taper, we starting in the nape area. And as you can see, we got a nice sharp line back there. And like I say, my clipper plug done walked up to me with them red instincts, man. Them just so light and they so quiet at a price so affordable that I think I'm gonna go with them sometime here soon. But moving on to the front lineup, I like to start in the middle, slap dab in the middle, and work my way to the left or to the right, depending on what's the high side and what's the low side, and what got more hair and what don't. But we start in the middle. I know the detailers are super old, but them junks gonna forever smack. I'm talking about them junks is biting. Sharp lineups, barely tap, drag, whatever. They gonna put in some sharp lines. So I'm messing with the detailers, bro. I done fell in love with them junks. They came in our school kit. And see, this is the reason why I said I need like a tripod or the ring light stand or something I can wear for a POV, because my big back ass stay in the way. And for y'all to see me better and to get better angle of these cuts and lineups while I'm doing them, I'm gonna need that, because I'm really about to start doing this, I guess with creating content creator thing. I started out watching 360 Jeezy, Get Bean, Slice God, Lil Noah, man, Drake Clipper Hands, the Rich Barber, Game Changer. I started out watching them folks, and I ain't gonna lie, they done inspired me to jump off in there and start creating some content. And it's more so of showing POVs or my cuts, and as I get better, and man, really the journey, the rest of the way through barber school on into a shop or wherever this journey lead me to. That's what I'm finna just start creating content about my journey. And right here I'm just lining up the mustache and the goatee area. How he said he wanted everything lined up and cleaned up. He said he wanted a narrow mustache and kind of like bring it in some. So that's what we're doing right here.
Time to open.
And if you see me switching out trimmers from doing certain things, it's because of detailers. Like I say, them detailers, them joints, they'll hit. And they ain't for sensitive skin, especially like the nape area. Like I wouldn't line up your nape area with them detailers, cause you go damn near run about the seat. But I got these little black Kimmy joints. They zero gap good, and they don't put out like that bite. So they face friendly and neck friendly. And you can't see it from here, but if we were zoomed in, you can see it. But he just told me to knock down those prickly hairs off the mustache. So You know, kind of shape that joint up, clean it up. And just open the lever up all the way with no guard and use the teeth as a comb, and it's gonna get all that little shit that's sticking up. And there you got it. And clean them up with the neck duster. Spin around, might let him look in the mirror, see what he look like. That boy faded though. Yes, Zersky. And man, like I said, shout out to my boy Eli, Pastor Port on the beat for the instrumental. That jam fire. I'm rocking with you. It's more to come. This the first of many. This is the cut. No enhancements. I ain't even throw no razor on them. This what it is. All natural. Hercules.
Turn me up, please. Turn me up, please. Turn me up, please.